Welcome back to Law and Crime, everybody. I'm Michael Bryant. Let's head out to Boise, Idaho now. We've got an update in the trial against the Doomsday cult mom, Lori Vallow Daybell. There is now a jury impaneled. 10 men, 8 women, that means 6 alternates. They've been selected a little bit less than an hour ago. Prosecutors have charged Vallow Daybell and her husband Chad with conspiracy, murder, many other charges in connection to the death of Lori's children, Tylee and JJ, and the 2019 death of Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. They exhumed her body and came to that decision. Both defendants have pleaded not guilty. They have separate trials. Chad's trial not even on the calendar yet. If convicted, Doomsday cult mom faces life in prison. So, as I've suggested, Law and Crime's GiGi McKelvey is there in Boise, Idaho. She's been the eyes, the ears, the senses in the courtroom since this thing began. No cameras there, doggone it, but second best thing is GiGi. Welcome. Good to have you along. I always know when we've got you on here, something's happening. They've got a jury. I'm a little surprised it was sort of kind of quick. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, it was very quick. It was done in silence. They wrote the numbers of the jurors that they wanted to strike down on a piece of paper. Every couple of minutes, the bailiff would grab that little stack of papers and take them to the opposing counsel's side. Lori, very, very involved in this process, talking consistently with both attorneys, pointing out things on her notepad. So you can tell that she had her own opinion of who maybe she wanted to get off that jury from her side. And it was, yeah, so 10 men, which is kind of surprising, but then again, kind of not. It tends to be women, for the most part, that are obsessed with true crime. And that was what we heard a lot from some of these men. And I'm not sure yet exactly who. I've got to go home and sort through these numbers to see exactly who got on this jury. Yeah,
let me get your thoughts on this. There was a change of venue to a bigger area, Ada County there, basically Boise, much bigger jury pool. Did you hear much about whether people thought that worked out as it should have, if they were concerned about the process? How about the change of venue?
I think it was the right thing to do. I mean, because a lot of the people coming in here have heard at least something about her. Some knew more than others. But in Madison or Fremont counties, it would have been impossible to find anybody who didn't have some sort of bias, for the most part, against Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. So I do think the move here was the right thing to do. And even here in this bigger population, we still see most everybody had at least heard her name, knew she was on the run, and knew there were missing kids.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where unless you've been on the moon, and maybe not even then, you know about this case. So now we have audio recording is going to be permitted. That's, I guess, the compromise the court decided to come up with. How does that work exactly?
We're still not super sure how quickly that will get out. It'll be, you have to pay for it, so it's not free. It will not be live streamed. It will be after the fact. I believe it's going to be available online if you do pay for it. Between $60 and $90 a day, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on the updated numbers, but very expensive to have access to a public trial, especially for the people of Idaho, when they're only live streaming this in 2 locations, one down near Rexburg and then here at the courthouse. So there's only seats for maybe 300 people of the general public to actually sit in and watch this trial, but they have to come to the courthouse to do it.
But that sounds like sounds like a lousy compromise to me, and there must have been some objections to the fact that you have to pay to get the audio stream at that. So, well, I got Jesse Weber's credit card, so I'm good. But I think it is a weird compromise. Anybody in the vicinity there kind of interesting today? Family members, others that are connected to this case?
No family at all has been here the entire week. John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, did come in very briefly, maybe 15 minutes, if that. He explained the process to all of us that were sitting around him of how they're writing the numbers down, and nothing is audible. They didn't even call out the numbers of the jurors that were picked. They just had who was remaining raise their card. So he kind of gave us a little insight into that, and then he left. Other than that, we've seen maybe there were 20 people in that overflow room watching this morning, so just a very quiet day here. I imagine Monday will be much different, though.
Oh, yeah. And so this was very convenient scheduling. You know, you've got Good Friday. It can be a short day for folks, so that's wrapped up. Now the weekend for the last prep, and then Monday it's showtime. What do you expect to hear from these openings on Monday?
Well, I think they're going to go all in really quickly. You've got to show the jury the gravity of why we're here, and unfortunately, that's going to include some pretty graphic photos, I think. One thing we did learn sitting in there from the public information officer here at the courthouse is that whoever is in the main courtroom will be seeing all of the exhibits on screen. In Alec Murdaugh, only the jury saw them. None of us in the public got to see them, but it's going to be different here. We're still trying to find out if those will be shown in the overflow room. But I think that openings, the prosecution, number one, needs a lot of visuals because there are so many players in this case. People that don't know this case very thoroughly are going to get lost really quickly with who's who. And I think the other thing, just a little shock value. And then the defense, I think we're just going to hear a lot of she had nothing to do with it, she knew nothing.
You know, that is it's a good point. You know, everybody may have a clue about this case and the players, but unless you can get inside GiGi's head, you really don't have all of the pieces of twine connecting all of the bodies and the locations and who was married to who when. It is going to be very important for these attorneys to paint a picture for these jury members, to give them what they really need and not just the broad brush that most of us might have. So I guess it could be kind of a scrum there on Monday, right?
Yeah, we'll see. They are opening up the public seating at 12 for reservations. The main courtroom is already full, so a lot of people scrambling to try to get a seat for these openings on Monday because they will not be live streamed. So if you're not here, you're going to miss it.
Man, can't wait for that.
At least till later.
It's going to be something. GiGi, thank you so much. As always, get back in there, continue your good work, and we will check with you again very soon.